Hey everyone, it's Sky Schooley here with business.com, and today I'm going to walk you through a brief tutorial on how to set up your team in QuickBooks Workforce so you're ready to run payroll. Let's take a look around. When you first log in and navigate to the Payroll tab on the left rail, you'll see the Overview tab. If you haven't set up a QuickBooks Workforce yet, the Overview tab displays a step-by-step guide for you to follow, and it makes it super easy to get started. If you have any questions or are struggling with the software setup, you can always schedule a free call with QuickBooks Expert who will guide you through that setup process. Now, today we're going to focus on setting up our team, including W-2 employees and 1099 contractors. To do this, you first click on the Employees tab, just to the right of the Overview tab. As you can see, we've already got a few of our team members set up in the system. So let's add a new one. To add a new team member, we'll need to fill out their name, email address, and hire date first. And from there, we have the option to send the employee an invitation to self-onboard, or we can fill out their information ourselves. We recommend inviting employees to self-onboard, which you can learn more about by watching the tutorial video directly within QuickBooks Workforce. But for now, I'll fill out this employee's information myself so you can get a clear look at just what goes into a team member's profile. Once we've entered our employee's basic info, their profile will be set up in the system. But if we want to actually run payroll for them, we'll need to do a bit more first. And QuickBooks Workforce does spell out exactly what your next step should be, so it makes it super simple. Since we're not inviting the employee to self-onboard in this tutorial, we'll click the Finish Payroll Info button on the bottom of the page, which then brings us to the employee's newly created profile. So we'll begin in the Job and Pay tab, where we can fill out more information about this employee's role and how they're compensated. I like to always add a profile picture first because it makes it easy to recognize everyone at a glance later on. Next, we'll fill out more job details, including their title, manager, and department. One feature I really liked is that QuickBooks Workforce will automatically tie an employee to the correct department based on who you select as their manager. But if your employee is the first to be added in their department, it's easy to create a brand new one too. Up next is the base pay section, which you'll notice is a required field. QuickBooks Workforce clearly marks the sections that are required to successfully run payroll, which I found to be especially helpful. This is a salaried employee, so we'll select their salary, which then brings up a dropdown for pay frequency. I'll select per year and then enter the employee's annual salary. Below the base pay section, we can also add optional additional pay types, which comes pre-populated with overtime pay, but could also include things like commission, tips, or holiday pay. The next required field is payment method. I recommend using direct deposit whenever possible, so employees can update their bank account information for direct deposit in self-onboarding, or you could do so manually if you have their banking information on hand. Since I've added a fake employee who doesn't have a real bank account, sorry to disappoint you, but Billy Bear here is not a real business.com employee. I'll select paper check for now. The final required field under the Job and Pay tab is the tax withholding section. This section is one of the reasons why we recommend selecting employee self-onboard, since they're likely to know best about their filing status and claim dependence. QuickBooks Workforce also takes into account state-level requirements. So since our company is based in California, it includes a required field for California taxes and wage codes. Finally, we will include any deductions or contributions, such as premiums for health insurance, 401k investments, or wage garnishes. So for now, we've filled out all of those fields, and we should be ready to run payroll, right? Well, if we go back to the employee list and check our new team member's profile, I see an alert from Workforce that I've missed some required fields. So we can click right back into their profile from here to see what's missing. Oh shoot, okay, so it looks like we forgot to fill out the Personal tab, which has a few required sections of its own. Fortunately, that's a pretty quick fix. So in the Personal tab, we'll be able to fill out the employee's name, birthday, gender, and social security number. And when we scroll down a bit, we see the first required section, contact information. In order to pay this employee who is receiving paper checks, we'll need their address. However, you can also add email address and phone numbers, though these aren't required fields to run payroll. Below, there is an optional emergency contact section, which we don't need to fill out for now, but I always recommend completing that just in case, especially if you have on-site employees. Great. Okay, so that does it now for the required information to run payroll. And you can see here that the missing information indicator has disappeared, and I can properly run payroll for this employee. Finally, let's take a look at the optional Time Off and Documents tab. In the Time Off tab, you can assign different PTO policies for your employees. So if I select Paid Time Off, you can see that I've already created our unlimited PTO policy, which I could then choose from the dropdown and add. But if I need to create a new time off policy, that's also easily done. Let's click Sick Pay here, and note that there's no existing policy within the dropdown. So I'll create one without having to navigate away from the employee's profile, which is a great benefit. Follow the prompts to set up your time off policy once, and then it will be available for all of your future employees that you set up within the system. Finally, in the Documents tab, we can view and download an employee's W-4, which makes things easy at tax time. We can also create folders and organize employee documents, from financial records to onboarding documents to performance reviews. Now, remember, QuickBooks Workforce is an all-in-one human capital management system, so we're not just limited to payroll in these employee profiles. I recommend using them as centralized profiles to get the most of them throughout the entire platform. So that is all there is to it. As you can tell, setting up a new employee for payroll is a pretty easy process with QuickBooks Workforce. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more tips and tutorials on must-have business software. See you in the next one.